Yeah, I heard. I think the good thing about that is about being the flyweight division is that there are a lot of other promotions that have that division. Like One, Risen. So those guys can still go overseas and make good money.
Sucks for my boy Kai because he's about to fight in the flyweight division in UFC Adelaide. A guy who's worked so hard to get to this point to the UFC. He's a flyweight, so I mean, it sucks, for him. But he's been bodying bantamweights for a long time, so this isn't his first rodeo. And the UFC still has a bantamweight division, so he might have to move up and just change his skill set against different opponents. But yeah, it sucks, and I think it's a bad move. One FC should buy up the fly. If they take up Dimitri, get the rest of them as well. They've got money. I know they got that crazy Asian money, a rich money. So if they do and they want to compete with the UFC, buy the fucking flyweight division, get a lot of superstars. Because even around Asia and Southeast Asia, there's a lot of tiny guys out there, and those fights are ridiculous. I don't know why the UFC's cutting it. I don't know. Maybe it's because they didn't market it well, whatever. But yeah, it's just ONE FC should buy up like a lot of the flyweights from the UFC and Bellator as well, and really pump those guys because they really put it on. They really put it on for the just for the pugilist of MMA, if you will.
Um, Actually, when I heard about Demetrius Johnson going at ONE FC, I thought it was such a smart move since e-game it's really big in Asia. So I wasn't surprised when I saw that ONE FC gonna try to put the e-game in the mix. But I heard a rumor a long time ago about the 25 division, so I was not surprised. I think it's sad, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. It was cool, like Matt Schnell. I know was a flyweight, and he was given the offer to fight at 35. But like Roberto Sanchez, he's at a Drax gym. I know they cut him. This is a brutal sport. You win, it's the best night of your life. You lose, it's the worst night of your life. I don't think there's a lot of sympathy to be had in MMA. So, you just gotta kind of roll with the punches and find your openings elsewhere. It was surprising, but not extremely shocking.
Yeah, I just saw on Twitter mostly was a couple of guys like Scoggins saying that they're cut, and after you get rid of Johnson, you got to realize there's not many. Well, how many of those fighters are there? It seemed like there's the same 15 flyweights in the world have always been in the mix, and no one can break through into stardom. You know what I mean? So I get why you're cutting them, but now is the time to make that 165-pound division if that's what they want. The UFC loves titles, so they make up phantom titles all the time. So for them to take away a title doesn't make any sense to me. So the only conclusion I have from it is that they're making a 165-pound division here soon.
You know what? To me, it's disappointing. One of my teammates, Blano Driscoll, flyweight, and I feel like he was just at that edge of potentially getting signed. But also, I feel like we need more weight classes, not less weight classes. I don't know how many UFC fighters there are, but yeah, it feels like guys are getting forced up a division or down a division, and not having a proper home. The only reason I could see them cutting flyweights is hopefully if they institute some sort of weight cutting policy. That's what I'd hope for. So all the flyweights would move up to bantamweights, and the bantamweights would move up to featherweight, and we'd still have them. But I don't think that's quite the strategy. I'm disappointed in them cutting the division, but then also selfishly for me, that gives me more guys to compete against. So that's not the worst at all.
It sucks because I got some 125er friends who are like, when they look at me and they see that I made it, and now they like, shoot, the dream is true, like it's possible. And as soon as they see that it's possible, they're closing out the what did it go, the flyweights? That's what they are, flyweights division. But I don't understand if they closing out the flyweight division, like, isn't TJ Dillashaw about to fight Cejudo? Yeah, so maybe they about to just go out with a bang. But I manifest the best for all the 125ers out there. I manifest that they find a great new home, and maybe in the future they bring you guys back.
I'm not sure if it'd be smart to comment on that right now. It's wild. I'm not sure how much notice they they had. I don't think it was much. You know, all that stuff is out of our hands. It is really unfortunate.
I'm surprised. You know, I think there's a lot of talented fighters at 125, and it's just a shame, you know, because some guys are too small for 35, and they're really talented, but they're kind of middle of the road when it comes to 35 because of their size compared to other 35ers, and size does play a big part, you know. But yeah, I'm not shocked at the same time either, because there's been talk about getting rid of it for a long time, and yeah, it sucks to see it go because, like I said, there's a lot of talent at 125, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos come out on Twitter with those guys saying they've just been released out of nowhere. I feel bad for them, you know. It's just like just another human being, just happens to be smaller, weigh a little bit lighter, but they work so hard and they do the same things that all of us do, no matter what weight we are, to pursue our dreams and make a living. So I feel for those guys. It kind of sucks, but I think there'll be other opportunities for them, whether it's one championship, Bellator, you know, somewhere outside the UFC. Hopefully they get their worth and they get paid right. But it's just sad to see, you know, an instant change like that out of your control when you think you're living your dream in the UFC, and now you got to figure out other things. But you know, some of those guys are going to move up to 135, so it changes our division a little bit, adds a little bit of flavor to it, and I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'll fight some of those guys too along the way.